Welcome to the conclusion to the little mini series of just going over my time at the Olds Elementary School for my first year practicum. I'm going to be going over each of the 6 teaching quality standards and kind of just explaining how I saw them present while I was at the school, kind of what I learned, how they tie together. So yeah, let's get right into it. First, for fostering effective relationships for your first teaching quality standard, this one I didn't even have to observe, I was a part of it. During my time in Miss Martin's grade 3 classroom, throughout my time, every single time I would go, I'd get to know the kids a little more, we'd talk more, they'd trust me more, we'd have a better relationship, and every time they would ask me more questions, they would ask me for more help with work. At the start, it was like, hey, I got introduced, like, hey, I'm Mr. Bouchard. Like, let me know if there's anything I can help you with. And by the end, I would be running around. I'd have hands up everywhere, and I'd have to just be running back and forth answering questions. Boom there, question there, there. Can I go to the washroom? Just everything like that. And they were so trusting of me, and we had such a strong relationship that they were willing to get more help from me. Because it's the exact same thing as so many people say. Kids don't learn from people they don't like. And as they began to like me more and know me more, they were okay with learning from me, even though I wasn't an actual teacher. And that was just really cool to be a part of, and it really showed why fostering effective relationships is a teaching quality standard. For TQS number 2, for the career-long learning, my favorite part of this was seeing that teachers actually do partake in this. When I first started the 1500 course, I heard about that and I went, well, like, yeah, like that's obvious, you stay up to date with the modern stuff, but I didn't really think of it as, excuse me, I didn't really think of it as something that teachers would be like writing down and seeing how they can improve. I thought it would just be like keeping up with the times. But when I went to Miss Rasmussen's grade 2 class, and I saw her mark sheets, and she was explaining to me that she uses her mark sheets in her grade 2 class to see where she can improve and see how she can improve on herself and find more strategies and work with other teachers to improve on those areas. And I thought it was really cool to kind of see the TQS blending into the actual school that I got to be there firsthand to observe and talk to her about. So that's kind of how I found career-long learning kind of mixing its way into the classroom. And then for our teaching quality standard number 3, your professionalism, it was really nice. I would be in the classroom and I would walk in and the teacher would immediately go, hey, like, how's it going? Obviously I was there before the class, and then we'd chat a little, and then as soon as the class walked in, it was right to just boom, being professional. There was no more like, oh yeah, like, what'd you do today between us while the kids were in there. It was just straight to like, hey, like, let's get stuff done, let's work together. And especially the admin in the building, Stephanie and Greg, our principal and vice principal of the school, it was amazing to see how professional they were with us. Greg was also just always in a suit, so that was kind of cool to see how he was dressing professionally. And it was just a really cool thing to be a part of and actually see like the professionalism that goes on behind the scenes, because I've only experienced it as a student before. But it was nice to see that switch from like almost person to professional, if that makes any sense, when the kids aren't in the room versus when they are. And that's kind of the most profound thing that I learned, is that they switch back and forth. For our inclusive learning environment, we're going back to Miss Martin's class, the one that I was really close with. She had, I don't remember them all, but there was one kid who was stuck in the developmental age of 3 in his head. This was mentioned in a previous video, but he couldn't learn anything past that of a 3-year-old. He knew his ABCs, and he could count to, I think, 15 or 20, and that was all he could do. There was one girl there who she couldn't control her bladder. There was 3 dyslexic kids and 1 kid with one thing that I can't remember. And it was just a lot to deal with, and building that inclusive learning environment was really hard. She had one English language learner. He was a immigrant kid. I believe he was from Pakistan. I don't completely remember. And so she had to work with him to learn English, and she had to build an environment for the other kids where they wouldn't feel like they would be left behind. And she did a really good job. The way that she did it was just building a kind, comforting environment. They had these English journals, and throughout the year they would write stories. And you could get your story done in the first 3 months of school, and that's fine. You would just do homework during the writing time. Or you could take the entire year to write your story, or not even be done. It was a really cool way to let kids move at their own pace while they were learning throughout the year. They would do research, and they would write their stories. And for example, when I was there, I believe it was my 3rd day there when I got to actually be present for this. And there was 5 kids who were still on their research, while there was 1 who finished their story and a couple more almost done, and then the majority of the class had just started writing or was planning their story. And it was just really cool to see how it gives the opportunity for kids to move at different levels. And she would explain everything to everyone in a way that everyone could understand. So the more advanced kids, she wouldn't explain it like in a way that only they could understand. She would explain it she would talk slow, and she would make sure that people were helping each other. And it was just really cool to see her, not only her, but also the kids in the classroom, building that inclusive environment by just supporting one each other and just always being there. Silas, the kid who was stuck at the developmental age of 3, this girl that sat beside him, her name was Aubrey. And Aubrey would just help him with everything. She was never asked to, but she loved doing it. She loved helping him. And it was really cool to see that not only coming from the teacher, but also coming out of the kids, and kind of just, working together to build that classroom. For the Indigenous and Aboriginal ways present in the school for TQS number 5, there wasn't a ton that I could see when I was there. The most prominent example would probably be they did come and have an elder. Excuse me. During their Remembrance Day ceremony on my first day, they had an elder come and give the land acknowledgement for the presentation that day. And I thought it was really cool that they brought in an elder for the land acknowledgement instead of just having a principal or a staff member do it. However, I do think that there could have been more just spread out through everything. I do think that there could have just been more spread out, throughout the learning. There really wasn't much that I could see. They did have a teepee outside in the by the playground area, but nothing was ever done with it, not while I was there. So I'm assuming that there is more stuff that they do, just I wasn't there to be present for it, unfortunately. And then for the code of conduct slash your legal stuff there for your TQS number 6, it's kind of hard to see how that's present, but even we had to take partake in some legal stuff, which was that little slip of paper that we had to get an administrator to sign, just to prove that we were there. And then it was, your code of conduct. We had our dress code, which wasn't too strict. It was just, for us, it was just no rips in the clothing, nothing offensive. We dressed up anyway just because we wanted to be there, be a little more professional, but we definitely didn't have to. And other than that, everyone kind of knew their boundaries, so the code of conduct never really got brought up. Just because everyone knew, like, and no one tried to push anything. I would say probably the most unprofessional thing that happened was, me racing like 3 of the teachers to get icy squares from the staff room before they ran out. But other than that, everything was very professional, put together. And I just thought it was really cool to see that stuff from the classroom come in to the school and just see them linked together. And it really made me appreciate my time in 1500 so that I could realize those little things in the classroom more and just develop the way I am as a future teacher. And yeah, so that kind of concludes the last presentation there. So I guess the only thing left to say is like and subscribe. Hit that notification button too if you're feeling frisky, and have a good one.